Isn't it kind of messed up how a throwaway comment, something completely harmless, can end up living rent-free in your head for days? Not because it was deep or life-changing, but because your brain just decided, yeah, let's loop that on repeat. One moment you're chilling, the next you're reanalyzing a totally normal conversation like it holds the secrets of the universe. Why did I say "you too" when the waiter said, "enjoy your meal"? Or you wrote a text, deleted it, rewrote it, added an emoji, deleted the emoji, then never sent it at all. Because what if it's too much or not enough? You get the point. Yeah, that's overthinking, and it's exhausting, right? Overthinking is when you're thinking about your thinking, analyzing your own analysis, trying to solve problems that haven't even shown up yet. It's when your brain goes full Shakespeare over stuff that really doesn't need a monologue. But here's the worst part. Trying not to overthink usually just leads to, yep, more overthinking. Like, wait, am I overthinking the fact that I'm overthinking? That mental rabbit hole is really not where you want to be. So today we're doing something different. We're not going to lecture you about mindfulness or force you to download another productivity app. We're going to talk about how to deal with overthinking without turning it into another thing you obsess over. Here's chill, helpful, and actually doable advice on how to stop overthinking. First, you need to realize you're not broken. You're just stuck in what I call the what-if mode. Let's not hate on overthinking completely. Your brain means well. It's just doing that thing where it mistakes rumination for productivity, like, oh, you're stressed. Let me open 14 thought tabs and run them all at once until you can't sleep. Why does this happen? It happens because your brain's job is survival, and in the wild, uncertainty equals danger. So when you're faced with a decision, whether it's applying for a job, asking someone out, or choosing which snack to eat, your brain thinks, let's pause and analyze every possible worst-case scenario. But we're not in the wild anymore. We're in a coffee shop, spiraling about whether our laugh was too loud. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain's trying to gain control. You're looking for the perfect answer. You think more information equals better decisions. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. You're not weird. You're not weak. You just got caught in the mental version of buffering. Everything looks important, so you try to hold it all at once. The problem is that thoughts aren't facts. In fact, they're just like visitors. There are helpful ones, the annoying ones, and the ones who show up ringing your doorbell at 2 a.m. with no sense of boundaries or respect for your peace. You can't go trying to deal with all of them. You have to choose which ones to entertain, and some of them you got to give the boot. So, how do you find clarity? Here's where people get stuck. They think that if they just think hard enough, they'll finally get the clarity they're looking for. But that's like expecting to feel confident before trying something scary. Confidence comes after. So does clarity. You don't think your way to clarity, you act your way there. Let's say you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel. You spend weeks researching cameras, lighting, thumbnails, scripting, editing software. Meanwhile, your friend just records a messy video on her phone, posts it, and learns from the feedback. Guess who grows faster? Thinking without action is procrastination in disguise. You feel like you're preparing, but what you're really doing is stalling. Your problem needs more movement, not more thinking. So here's the first shift. Don't fight the thoughts. Don't even try to silence them. Just stop auditioning each one for the lead role in your life and act. When your thoughts start doing cartwheels, try this. Ask yourself, is this useful? Is this mine to solve? Most overthinking dies right there, because a lot of what we overthink is either A, completely out of our control, or B, none of our business. You don't need a PhD in mental gymnastics to realize if something isn't helpful and it's not yours to fix, it doesn't deserve rent-free space in your head. Say it with me, not my circus, not my monkeys. Overthinking feeds on idleness. So starve it. Your brain is like a bored intern. If it doesn't have clear tasks, it starts doing too much, overanalyzing, rewriting scenarios, creating imaginary beef with people who probably have never thought of you in their spare time. So, one of the best ways to stop overthinking, give your brain something better to do. I'm not talking about busy work. I'm talking about anchoring your attention to something real. Movement, conversation, cooking, even organizing that drawer full of random chargers you swear you'll sort one day. Why does this work? Because overthinking needs space and silence to spiral. Interrupt that space, and the spiral slows down. Don't try to think less. Just do more things that leave less room for spirals. Perfectionism and overthinking are best friends who should have broken up years ago. You read and reread emails before sending them. You draft replies in your head to texts that haven't been sent. You hesitate to post anything because what if it's cringe? Here's the cure. Let things be good enough. Not perfect, not flawless, just solid. People who move forward in life aren't the ones who get everything right. They're the ones who move. You don't need to nail it. You just need to send it. Remember this, you don't need more time. You need a deadline. Overthinkers love extra time the way toddlers love candy. It feels like more time will bring clarity, but it usually just gives you room to spiral. Start giving your decisions a time limit. Okay, brain, you've got 10 minutes to obsess over this, then we're moving on. Create small deadlines for small things. You don't need to plan for the next 5 years. You just need to pick lunch. Less time equals less spiraling equals more doing. Overthinking loves isolation. It thrives in echo chambers where your brain just bounces around its own noise. Sometimes the quickest way to deflate a thought is to say it out loud. Call a friend, send a voice note, journal it if you're more private. That's why the saying, talk it out, don't think it out, has always helped me. Often, you'll hear yourself mid-sentence and go, wait, that's what I've been freaking out about? Thoughts lose power when exposed to the air. You're not weird for needing help processing stuff. You're human. We weren't meant to do this solo. Overthinkers often stop at the first fear. What if I mess up the interview? Or what if they don't text back? Instead of sitting in that fear, use the secret question, and then what? This question ends all spirals. What if I mess up? Then I learn. What if I don't get the job? Then I apply somewhere else. What if they don't like me? Then I'm not for them. And that's okay. Following the fear to the end usually reveals that it's not the end of the world. You've survived every worst-case scenario in your head so far, and you're still here. Look at you. Most of the time, you're not overthinking because you're deep or wise or responsible. You're overthinking because you don't want to make the wrong choice. But guess what? There is no perfect choice. No matter what path you pick, there will be unknowns. There will be learning curves. There will be moments where you second-guess yourself. That's not failure. That's life. Trying to find certainty before acting is like waiting for your phone to be fully charged before using it. It's never going to happen. The people who move forward in life aren't the ones who always know what they're doing. They're the ones who decide anyway. Be one of those people. This is why it's important to build a default mode for when you spiral. Let me explain. Sometimes, rather than fixing the thought, you should try having a ritual that gets you back to baseline. It could be a playlist you blast when your brain won't shut up, a 5-minute walk with no phone, a comfort show that resets your mood, a brain dump notebook where you offload everything ugly and unfiltered. The goal isn't to erase overthinking, it's to stop letting it hijack your day. Give your brain a soft place to land. Over time, it'll start returning there on its own. You don't need to become a Zen monk or meditate on a mountain to stop overthinking. You just need to remember the following. Not every thought deserves attention. Good enough is great. Movement beats mental spirals. And that you don't have to fix everything, especially not at 2 a.m. So next time you catch yourself spiraling, remember this. You're just a human with an active brain. Take a breath, shrug it off, and do something small, real, and right in front of you. And remember, thinking less isn't the goal. Living more is.